Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Trey, and I want to talk about Disney in general. The reason why I want to talk about Disney in general is because of the fact that this whole thing with Scarlett Johansson reminded me of how much Disney actually are actually disrespectful towards their female stars, if you really think about it. And I know what some of you guys thinking, what do you got, what am I talking about? Think about almost every Disney Channel person that worked at Disney, done, especially a female character who they put so much on the female talent more so than the guys, that most of the guys relatively end up, pretty fine or whatever, or even forgotten through time or whatever, but they still turn out normally compared to their female counterparts or whatever and stuff like that. Like, let's take for instance, let's talk about, Britney Spears on the Disney House Clubhouse. She was there with Justin Timberlake, Ryan Gosling, Christina Aguilera, and look at her now. Look at her. Hot mess. And a lot of it's not Britney's fault. I blame some of it on family, and I blame it on Disney as well. Or let's even talk about, almost all the girls has like this sexual awakening all of a sudden, where they're just so queer and into girls and stuff. Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, Raven-Symone, what's that other darn girl name? Bella Thorne, Dove Cameron. You just be like, okay, all right. Is it a bargaining chip brand or something like that? Like, you get to be lesbian, you get to be lesbian, you get to be lesbian, get to be lesbian. Like, at some point it starts to become unbelievable. Unbelievable. And let's even talk about the whole thing with, like, Hilary Duff. Hilary Duff was the first Disney Channel show to actually have a movie up until Hannah Montana the movie, because High School Musical was a Disney Channel original movie. That third movie transitioned into theaters, but still, Hilary Duff had this highly rated TV series, Lizzie McGuire, working her to the break of the bones and stuff like that. Her best friend Miranda, who played Lorraine, had going through her own personal issues, to the point where she was forcefully written out of the show or whatever and stuff like that, because of her addiction and how life happened or whatever and stuff like that. And there's been stories about Hilary Duff. They wanted to do the Lizzie McGuire show after the movie, to pick up her life in high school with her friends or whatever and stuff like that. And Disney was like, no, because they didn't want to pay her, because her mom was like, no, you're working her hard. She just completed this movie. She has this show that's doing well. She did a Lizzie McGuire album. She did Lizzie McGuire the movie soundtrack, and she's also working on her solo music and whatever. And you got her touring around the world, and you won't pay her more for her work for Lizzie McGuire. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So the reason why I'm saying that is because, is what Scarlett Johansson doing right now, is it wrong? Not really, because you kind of can see it, especially when Disney heavily focused so much on their female characters in a lot of their stuff. And it's not even just nowadays. They've always had like this heavy focus of female characters, that the guys have been left behind in dust. But it's just like the guys don't really care, because they show up, they do their job, they go home, and then they move on to other projects. A lot of them do, a lot of them don't. It is what it is. But Disney really hammers in on their female stars, and they expect their female stars to be perfect and everything. Like, let's take for instance the whole thing with Vanessa Hudgens. She shared intimate photos of herself with her boyfriend, but yet her phone got hacked and her information. And instead of Disney doing right by her, they blamed her. She was the fault. She was at fault for what? Having a life outside of her job? I'm sorry, make that make sense. To the point where, because they wanted to recast her for High School Musical 3. So she had to take a pay cut and get paid only $1 million, I believe, in order to star in High School Musical 3, even though she was the co-lead next to Zac Efron. Make that make sense, Disney. Make that make sense. Make it make sense. And then let's not even get started with the queen of Disney Channel, Raven-Symone herself. You know, she had a successful show, That's So Raven. Then she had a successful solo career as well. Then they had her doing Disney movies. They had her starring in movies that were not on Disney. I mean, they were some movies starring on Disney Channel, but there are also movies with her that were through the production of Disney. You had her doing the Cheetah Girls as well, and they wanted to do a movie. They wanted to finish up the series, but things happened or whatever. They never gave Raven closure for That's So Raven. They canceled the That's So Raven movie or whatever. They wanted her also to do the Cheetah Girls thing, and then the Cheetah Girls also had a television series that they filmed 5 episodes for that never got picked up by ABC or whatever and stuff like that. And I mean, they had her running raggedly or whatever, and she was talking about how her weight would fluctuate up and down as she got older or whatever, and people didn't want her to eat hardly or whatever. Like, y'all didn't do right by her. Y'all didn't do right by her. And it's the same thing. I mean, the wild children of it, you had Demi Lovato and Miley Cyrus acting hot messes. Miley Cyrus on the cover of a magazine at the age of 15 naked because reasons Can't Be Tamed, Party in the USA and stuff like that. You had Demi Lovato punching one of the guitarists, having a mental breakdown during the Camp Rock 2 concert tour or whatever. Then they had to cancel the concert tour and stuff like that. So it's crazy. It is crazy, but and they really did. I mean, if you really look at most of the shows that's on Disney, if you look at most of the movies that Disney have out, it's mostly female led. And it's funny, we don't see any of the guys come out and say, hey, I was mispaid. Of course they're not going to do it to the guys, but they do it to the females all the time. And it's like Disney's brand is females, to be honest. Because literally turn on Disney Channel. Turn on Disney Channel and look at almost all the upcoming Disney properties and stuff like that. I bet you most of them have a woman as the star and lead. If she's not the star and lead, she's the co-lead with a male. And best believe the male isn't doing as much as the female character is doing. And it's crazy. It is crazy, but Disney, believe all women though. But then they want to go and slander Scarlett Johansson, and they even released her salary pay online, which that you definitely shouldn't have did that, Disney. And you thought that that's going to sway the public opinion. No, all it did was make the public side more with Scarlett Johansson than you guys. But it's just kind of funny how you guys want to stay silent when, you want to try to attack Scarlett Johansson for wanting her money or whatever and stuff like that. But you guys been treating your female characters like this. For God's sakes, Hilary Duff wanted to do a mature Lizzie McGuire show, and you guys didn't want to do it, even though you own Hulu and you could put it on Hulu. But you was like, oh no, because it's family friendly or whatever. If it's for the older audience, why the hell are you worrying about the damn kids? Why are you worrying about the kids? Disney, you gotta stop being so hypocritical. 1 minute you're for women, and then the next minute when the women have demands, you ready to toss them out. I'm confused. I don't understand how any of this works. It just makes no logical sense. But believe all women. But Disney, you have a female problem. You really do have a female problem. 1 minute you're champion for females, and behind the scenes, you're treating them terribly. You are treating them terribly. The only women that haven't been treated terribly is the women of Star Wars. As much as that done, You killed that franchise, but it's funny you put a woman in charge of it, and all she did was running through the ground. And my thing is, was this part of your plan, Disney? Was this to try to show how incompetent a woman is in who are in charge? Because if you really think about it, you had a woman fire another woman, Gina Carano, who was a strong, powerful, independent woman, and you guys trashed her for speaking her opinions. Make it make sense, and then trying to label her as difficult and all that kind of crazy stuff. It just makes no sense, Disney. You cannot have your cake and eat it too. You messed up. Own your shit. Do it. Own it. You made it. Lie in it. But don't sit up here and try to use the COVID or females is the reason why things didn't happen. No, you guys screwed up. You guys screwed up. And now you're going to have to reap what you sow. But those are my thoughts. Tell me what you guys think in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.